Yes, Linda, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Shannon. We're
Mariette,
just here.
who's with us for a very short time, is going to make an announcement, talk to us about.
Like yesterday. So,
Got
but I
it.
wanted to share something that's really, really cool. I actually shared it on Facebook a few weeks ago through Facebook Live. And so you can go back and check that out. But Staples is actually creating what are called their spotlight theaters inside of their stores. So there's a handful of Staples that are going to create these little cool theaters where you can go for free and you can teach something for free to your local community. And so it's super awesome. It's just a plug and play. You literally go into the Staples and they create these cool theaters in the middle of their store. And they have little chairs and they have a big TV. And you bring in your computer and you plug and play and you teach your community something really cool. And I wanted to share, if you're interested, you go to you call your local Staples and ask them if they have any in your area. They'll reserve the space for you for free right now. I don't know eventually if they're going to charge, but it's for free right now. And they will promote your event on Eventbrite for you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I learned about it a few weeks ago because I do all my printing when I do workshops at Staples. And when I got there, they were like, oh my God, Miss Martinez, we got to show you something. And I'm like, what? What do you got to show me? So they took me to their space and they're like, you always say you're doing workshops. Can you do one here for us? And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I told my kids that their first experience doing a workshop with their mom is going to be at Staples.
And you bring in your kids too. That is awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be super fun. So I just want to let you guys know if you have anything you want to teach, anything. It could be, knitting, whatever you think is fun to teach your community. Find your local Staples and teach them something cool, and you can do it for free, and you can help your community out.
Spotlight events. Staples Spotlight events.
Staples Spotlight events. Yep, exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to still stay in the background, but I just wanted to give you that update.
Thank you, Mariette.
Perfect.
Bye, Mariette.
And
I
Matthew.
want to learn calligraphy. Who's teaching that?
That's very cool.
Nice.
Girl.
Nice. Check it out. I wonder if they're doing it all across the country or if
Well, it
California
says-
is just the one starting it. That'll be cool to see. To be continued.
Yeah.
Any of us,
Brush lettering workshop for kids.
nice.
I'm going by on my way home.
Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program.
Yep, I've done those.
I don't think there's a Staples within an hour of me.
This is all, most of these are, let's see, Cambridge, Costa Mesa, Orange, something,
So
Boston.
these are all California?
No, there's Boston, Santa Ana.
Okay. Boston.
That's California.
Lake
I wonder where
Forest.
Mariette
Most
was.
of these are
Probably Eastvale.
California.
Okay. We'll have to check our local Staples.
Spotlight.
Canada, they've got some really cool ones like SEO tips for 2020.
Okay.
Superpowers with virtual assistants. That's very cool.
Fun.
Nice. Awesome. So that's a
Oh,
new
wow.
thing.
3D modeling,
Starting out,
turn your changeable
You
pro.
can take advantage of that free advertising.
I love sharing
Thanks for
though.
that tip.
The community, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of neat. Yeah.
Look
All
at
right.
the turnout today. Hello, everybody.
Lots of people here today.
Yeah.
So we really didn't talk about what did we do bringing in the new year this year.
I had a hot date with a snuggly puppy.
It's a little quiet.
Actually, you know what, Mark did? You know what we did? Of course, I worked really late, and then we were gonna stay up. We were snuggling with the puppy, and I was on Facebook, of course, and a lady's dog got out. It was a 12-year-old dog. They just moved here. It didn't
Oh, I
have a
saw
collar
that.
on. It was freaking out over the fireworks. We're snuggling with, trying to keep Shelby calm. And I'm like, I'm going to go drive around. And Mark's like, no, you stay with the dog. I'll go drive around. 40 minutes he went looking. And they found it the next day, so it's okay.
Oh, good.
Wow,
Thank
so
God.
the doggy was out all night.
you imagine how terrifying that would be?
My
Yeah.
dog eats fireworks.
So then he said, I'm not going to be here at midnight to kiss you. I said, go get the puppy. Go get the dog. Go kiss you later.
See, and I didn't know if fireworks on New Year's Eve was a thing. I thought it was just on TV.
It's horrible.
We-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like that
It
around my
entertains a small amount of people, and the rest of it it can be veterans with issues.
Yeah.
It can be children, dogs, animals. I mean, if they would just do it for like, maybe a couple hours right on New Year's Eve, but they do it for days and the days after. So this guy gets spooked at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Aw,
Like,
poor
not
dog.
necessary, but
It's really funny because my little dog just looks up and looks out the window like, oh, what's going on?
That's it.
It's really kind of a
Somebody did
nice.
it first, and then Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think then they went outside and one spooked her.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, didn't you have an announcement?
My announcement, the Accounting Success Group moved up a tier and in the QSP channel. We went from the advanced tier to the strategic tier. To do that, you've got to stay in the advanced tier, you've got to have over $30,000 in sales in a rolling
Wow.
365 days. To move up to the next tier, it's over $250,000 in sales. So we've now accomplished that, and the next tier is going to be 500,000.
Wow.
Making it tougher, aren't they? But
A
yeah.
little bit
Yay, Brandon.
Yes.
Don't we get a deeper discount?
It was all,
Or
it
deep-
was
no?
all guys.
Well, I am happy to be part of your group.
I am happy to have you as part of our group.
Yes. And I'm happy to refer my clients over to your group.
Well, with 2017, I don't know how much it helps, but with 2017.
It was that last sale I gave you, right, Brandon? That's what did it?
What's that?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm. Mhm. So we'll have a lot of
Sarah,
orders.
you were
in a
starting
couple-
to say 2017 is sunsetting now?
Right, May 31st. So you'll start seeing, I've got every client of mine. So
Right.
we'll have a little uptick in orders.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's nice. Very nice.
So we'll make sure and do maybe a little Zoom or something like that and discuss practice on how to get those upgraded the easiest and where the money's at. Most of y'all know how to do it probably, but anyway. We'll
We could
make
use
sure
a
that-
refresher course, yes.
What's that?
QuickBooks Connect.
QuickBooks Connect. Brandon and Mhm.
So is it true that we're the only ones that can get discounts to pass them on to our clients now? Clients can't get discounts on their own?
Not without a reseller, right?
Not without a reseller.
Right.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
That'll help our cause.
It was funny because a lot of people approached me at QuickBooks Connect about working through them. So I said, oh no, I said, I don't want that money. I already worked through Brandon Morrison. So it was kind of nice.
Well, I am always looking for people. I don't want to take anybody from anybody else's group.
No, I know that.
I'm really focusing now on IT groups, MSPs.
Yes.
They have got a host of, it's a win-win for them because they know who all's on QuickBooks Enterprise. And
Yeah.
With the ROR form, they can get 10% cut every time their clients upgrade. So it's a no-brainer. So MSPs are really what I'm looking at. If you guys have anybody in mind, I would love to talk to them.
Got it. Yeah, the IT people are really good because like I have a client that's on, I think, Windows 7, and now they're talking about buying, it's a church, and they're talking about buying a new computer. And right now, I think I took them from 2008 to 2012. And so now I said, if you get 10, well, as long as you can get 12 gigabytes of memory, I'll just take you right up to 2020. you know.
Nice.
So, and that would make it much better. So I may have to do the file a couple of times, but I can do that, so.
The IT people are
Brandon?
awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and they also
My IT
know
person's awesome.
the ports and all that stuff. So that you have to have opened up, and you're a real expert in that, Mark. I love that.
So Brandon, understand you have a date with your wife?
I have a date with my wife before I leave town for 5 days. I'm trying to stay out of the doghouse. It's a challenge every now and then, but what I decided, because she's leaving this evening, so we're going to have a date before she leaves for the night, and then before I leave tomorrow, and then so I'm gonna keep the girls. I'll probably bring them back to work with me later on this evening.
Well, enjoy, have fun.
Oh,
Enjoy.
Yes, have fun.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye, Brandon. I love
And
that
I
you're
don't know whether you do movies. My daughter and I did Jumanji. We thought that was fun. We
Nice.
had a discussion about whether it was a thriller or a comedy, and we finally agreed it was a comedic thriller or a thrilling comedy.
Both. A combo. All righty. Well, we're going to actually talk about some things. The new W-4 forms that are out. Has anybody given them out to their clients yet?
I've drafted out an explanation that I got from a article, and then I found a link to a really good article, and so I may just do a mail out with it attached and a little blurb, and just most important thing is you don't have to get new W-4s if you already have W-4s or anybody hired before 2020. Now, if they're hired for 2020, yes, you have to use the new form. So there's some articles and bloggers who can explain it a lot better than I. One hint though, for the ones who are on desktop, apparently, and I haven't seen the new setting for the old W-4 or the new W-4 in the payroll setup.
Oh, I have.
So, I mean, I've updated, I don't know where it is, but anyway, from what I understand, because it says once they use the 2020 form, they cannot revert back to 19.
Right.
My fear is you click on it just to poke, just see what it looks like, and it's too late. You can't go back. So, big warning. I haven't seen it, so.
So what I did is, if you go into edit the employee and go into the tax setting page, there's a checkbox to convert from the 2019 and prior W-4 to a 2020 W-4.
It was a check.
Yeah, it's a checkbox. So once you click that checkbox, there's nothing that pops up. It doesn't give you any warning that you can't go back. But I have seen it on Facebook. So when I went to a client file where I knew they had a deceased employee, so I checked the box there to see what happened, and it's kind of interesting. But yeah, nothing pops up to say that you can't go back to a 2019 or
warning. Are you sure you want to do this? Nothing.
Right. Nothing. Not
Moving
a thing.
forward. You're
Not even
moving
thinking
forward,
about.
no returning back.
But that's human nature. You know, it's something new. You want to see what it looks like, and then, oops, you know.
Well, and
Anyway.
I've sat there and I've really studied the articles and the trainings and the W-4 form itself. And the more I look at it, the more I'm convinced that it's not an HR or payroll function. It's something that you need to fill out with your tax preparer.
Well, it really always has been, in a way. I mean, when I wrote my letter, I'm going to emphasize that if an employee asks for help filling out the W-4, you can point them to places. You can do not ever help an employee fill out a W-4, because they can come back on you later, and you know, if they don't have enough taxes taken out, and then they have a penalty or whatever, and come back and they say, well, they filled it out, or they helped me fill it out. You never want to be accused of giving tax advice.
Right. And I I normally don't, but at least with the old ones, I could walk them through the,
Yeah.
because it was just that other form. It's just like, well, mark, put a 1 in the ones that apply to you. And,
Yeah.
if
Basic
you,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, but I'm not gonna, if somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, well, what should I put? I'm like, I can't answer that question for you.
Answer that.
If you need to talk to somebody about how to fill it out, I would direct them to their tax preparer.
I mean, at the bare minimum, it's just your name, social security address, and sign it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing at a bare minimum, nothing to write at all. So
Here we go.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. So
I
this
gave
top section 1 is the only part that really needs to be filled out.
Name and address. And if they're single, married, or head of household.
Yeah.
Well, you do have to put down how many deductions.
No, you don't.
No,
Nope.
there is no deductions.
There
on
is
this
no
one.
deduction. No. Mm-mm.
So you've complete step 2 if you've had multiple jobs or your spouse works, and then to fill that out, you skip ahead to this
Then it gets
form.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
You
you're
have
just
to like get with your spouse and go, okay, what are you going to put on your W-4 and what am I going to put on my W-4? Because we don't do it right together, we're screwed as a couple.
right, and then
And
you
how
put
many
in how
people
many.
do you realistically know that are going to do that? I mean,
Well, that's why this is going to be an issue.
Yeah,
The thing is, the goal of the IRS is to reduce your refund, put more cash in your pocket on a weekly, semi-monthly basis. But so many people have gotten to this mindset that their refund is like their forced savings account.
yeah.
It's a little windfall every year. But
for me,
if they really do the form correctly, they're going to have very little refund, if any. So,
Right, and that was part of the problem with the new tax act.
mhm.
In 2018, in March, the tax tables changed, so the people had dramatically less taxes withheld from their check, and people never went, even though I did send all my clients and my clients' employees out an email that says, all right, the tax tables
Update
changed,
it, yeah.
take a look at everything, and there was even a couple where they have all their pay stubs, but they still sent me an email back and said, well, how much difference is it? I'm like, well, last time you had this much withheld and now you have this much withheld. But people didn't change their withholdings or really figure out. And then when they went to get their taxes done, there was this huge uproar. This tax reduction, blah, 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 cost me more money. Because all they're looking at is their refund amount and not that they had less taxes withheld, that they had less taxes, but they had to pay in. And that was all they cared about. And so I think this new W-4 is kind of an overreaction to that.
Has anybody tried the, Linda's talking, you're muted. Has anybody tried the little calculator that they suggest to use at the IRS website?
I will send people there, yeah. I think it's a pretty good calculator.
Now, what disturbs me is that as an employer, it's none of my business what your extra income.
Yeah, really.
That should never be submitted to me.
right, exactly.
None of my business.
So
that I don't think is going to fly.
One of my clients send them out to their employees, and the response from the employees is, what? Do we have to go back to school to learn how to figure this out? I don't read this much. What am I supposed to put here?
Sign it.
And you can't say anything or give them any help. Like you said, you can send them to the calculator. You can tell them, go talk to your, tax or accountant. But people don't even have them either. So.
And if you don't get a new W-4 for a new hire, it's single.
It's what?
Single.
Single zero. Yeah.
Before it was single zero, and now it's just.
Hi, Tiffany.
Bye, Tiffany. Feel better.
Bye.
Tiffany doesn't have to worry about W-4.
I didn't get an introduction because I was late. I was taking a nap. I took a power nap that sort of went after 5. Who's Mary?
Mary's been with us before. She just kind of hangs. Yeah, she talks like
Yeah,
that.
I wanted to say
She's
hi.
new
Yeah.
and shy. It's good.
that's all right.
So Ernest, you are muted. Accountex is going away.
Yeah, wow, that was pretty interesting news this morning. I guess they sent out an email blast to everybody in their list and put it on their website. I guess apparently, according to his post on my Facebook, even Doug Sleater was surprised by
Yep.
that.
That's what I
No.
saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yep.
Kind of crazy. You know, it's interesting to me because I thought it actually got better last year, but apparently not good enough.
Got it.
What was different last year? That's the 1 year I didn't go. Linda went, right? Linda Arson?
Artisani went.
Arson.
Yeah, but I've never been before, so I have nothing to
Oh,
compare
okay.
it to.
Had you never been to Sleater?
Yeah.
Nope.
The
Sweet.
response
Oh yeah, it was nothing like Sleater. Let's be clear, right? I mean,
Okay.
and the point was made on Facebook, and I totally agree with it, right? I mean, Bob Lewis was saying that, you know, one of the real challenges with it is, you know, there was really no community leader, you know, with it. It was really, you know, a main stage event, not even a main stage event. It's kind of like all of these,
It was just a trade
you know,
show.
disparate little stages.
Just a trade
It didn't have a
It was
lot
like
of
a fancy-
continuity. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
And it
fancy
did-
trade show.
Yeah, I don't think that they really understood the people that they were dealing with, the accountants, and you know, they're a
wonder-
different.
Is this their model
Yeah.
with their other conventions, and then they just tried to like they bought
Everybody
the
in the
mailing
same
list or
thing.
whatever the prior, you know, everybody's so used to Sleater thinking that we would just like their new model, and it just we didn't.
Said they're still doing it in London though on the email.
That
So
was
I
a
guess
big
the
that
London
they
Yeah.
had a large one in London.
Well, good luck to
So the
them.
other thing that I thought was interesting, though, that kind of came out in the Liturgy call this morning was QuickBooks Connect Australia is not there anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that was well
So I
attended.
was like,
either.
well, that's. Well, I've never, I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
been
in
there. I've been to
zero
Australia,
countries.
but I haven't been to QuickBooks Connect, so
Is there going to be a QuickBooks Connect in San Jose this year?
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
that's the question.
But
Until they
there
start
isn't
taking
any tickets.
reservations, it's a big question mark.
They haven't
Would
made
there
any
be the
announcements yet?
No.
Why
Did
wouldn't
they,
there be?
did they announce dates yet?
Yeah, they've got dates.
Oh, they
It's
do?
supposed to happen.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, but
QBI
you can't
next
buy
year?
tickets.
But they
But
had
they
dates
didn't
on
s-
Accountex too.
Yeah,
I remember
they're
looking
not
up on the
selling
board going, oh, that's
pre-tickets.
my grandson's birthday.
They're not selling pre-tickets.
No, there's no tickets yet.
So we'll have to see what happens.
Hmm.
So I guess
Yeah, so it's pretty,
on what are our plans going forward for this new decade?
Yes.
Resolutions, anything that you want to focus on? Linda, let's start with you, Linda Russell.
Sure. Well, I'm actually partnering with a company in India called Curie Accounting, and I'm going to be the face of their business here in America. And I'm going to hopefully work out some agreements with them and try to help be a liaison between the clients they have here in America and the back office accounting they provide in Ahmedabad, India. And I think Matthew's actually going over to that same city in the next month, as I recall. I was trying to get that information and I couldn't find it on Facebook when I wanted to, so.
Yeah, I'll be heading there. I think it's the 21st of January I'll be leaving and should be there for about a little bit over a week. I'll be gone for about 2 weeks. Part of the time when I'm coming back, I'm going to go to Amsterdam too. But yeah, I'm actually going over to go visit our company analytics. And while there, my goal is to actually do some video, not live stream, but actual video to better understand what it means to use an outsourced company. What's the culture like? What are security protocols? What does that actually mean? What's the work environment like?
Right.
I want us to really have a better conception of what it is like, and then be able to come back and share that knowledge with everybody.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
No live stream in the middle of the night?
Maybe.
Don't wake me.
Yeah, it's 12.5 hours difference
Yeah,
for me.
a lot.
It's really interesting scheduling calls because there's 13 and a half hours difference in time between here and where I'm
Did you
talking
say
in
a half?
India.
And a half?
13 and a half.
It is
Wow.
a half.
Yeah, so they evidently have some half-hour time zones. I haven't quite, it's
Wow.
the city I think we're going to is about 100 miles, 200 miles north of Mumbai, but pretty much the same longitude as when I look on the map.
I
So
worked with some programmers in India. It was 10 and a half hours from here.
got it. They were
I'm
I'm a
probably
night owl, so
they were
It's a big
probably
country.
Eastern India because this is Western India and it's
Mm-hmm.
up towards Pakistan. Not quite that far, but
Well, good
that
luck.
general.
Good luck with that. Shannon.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting proposition. I met the man Fanil Shah at QuickBooks Connect, and we just connected while we were sitting there visiting in one of the couch chair configurations, and then we followed up afterwards. So it's really kind of
Nice.
interesting.
Nice. Shannon.
Well, I actually am working on my plan to retire.
Wow.
It'll be closer to the end of the decade, but it's still on the plans. And hopefully in like 6 weeks, we'll be able to get my husband to quit his job. So,
Nice.
yeah, and because I'm working on a couple of different sales funnels to get payroll clients. I haven't even turned on my S-Corp owner sales funnel yet, and Tuesday I closed 5 new clients for payroll. Thank you, Matthew. One of them was from you.
Give me
Yeah,
some clients.
What?
Nice.
No, this one's good. But yeah, so I've been getting a lot of, I don't even know where this connection came from. I know it came from Facebook, but I'm not sure how this person and I are connected, but he works at a CPA firm in Las Vegas, and every week he's sending me a bunch of different S-Corp owners. Some of them I can't help because they are not trainable, but well, and I always let him, and you know, every so often I'll send him an update on, you know, how it's going with different clients. And every single time I send him an update, like that day, he sends me 5 new referrals.
Well, it's nice to be able to pick and choose and choose the ones that you like.
Yeah, to leave the non-trainables away.
Well, you know, and earlier today I was on an ethics panel for another group, and that was one of the things that we had discussed was what do you do when your clients don't want to do things the right way?
Exactly.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's a struggle
Yeah.
we all have. Who's leaving?
Boot.
Run
A little
away!
graphic image
Hey,
there.
either running away or giving the boot. Yeah.
Oh, either one. I like that.
So yeah, it's just I finally have about 80% of my foundation for my business put together so that it can run without me.
Nice.
And hopefully soon, Matthew and I will get teams working.
Okay.
Mine's working great.
Ernest?
Yeah,
We can do it. We can
Mine's
do it.
working great.
yeah, thanks. I don't know how it works. I
Same
need
here.
some training.
We can do some. We can spend some time this weekend, Shannon.
Okay, perfect.
Ernest? Are you with us?
Ernest?
What are
I
you?
think I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you have New Year's resolutions or your plans coming up for this year?
Yeah, not resolutions. One of the things that I'm actually trying to figure out is with all this California craziness, I actually have an employee now, sort of, kind of, and I'm trying to like navigate through that because I don't really want to have an employee. I'd rather keep him as a contractor, but with all the stuff around, the Uber law, if you will.
Yes.
Trying to navigate through that to figure out, how I can, super talented guy. He's messaging me in the background, doing the work that I used to have to do, which is great. But so yeah, sorting through that and figuring that out, and so he's pretty much devoted to me 100% of the time now. So
Yeah.
Nice.
trying to figure out how to make that arrangement work.
Yeah.
Nice. Miss Linda Artisani?
Any tips there, Matthew?
Yeah, Ron, business is a beautiful thing until you hire employees, except for Mary.
Yeah.
No.
One of the things I wonder is like, all right, so he's a programmer, and obviously I do programming, but he wants to be a contractor. I want him to be a contractor, but it's this crazy law in California that's making us like.
He has to really be
exploring
set
other
up as a
things.
business and advertising and doing work for other companies.
Yeah.
And as soon as he starts doing mostly work for you, yeah.
One of the things that I saw that really kind of allowed for loopholes, probably the wrong word, is licensed individuals. So when you have people that have a degree or a license, there's certain exemptions around that. So maybe look towards that because your skill set is such a high knowledge trade. There may be something about that could help you.
Well, and I would actually throw it down. So you run Vendor Sync, right? And to the extent that you hire, even in India, right, people that are working on your product, if you're sending, paying them as a 1099, are they going to be running afoul of the law as well?
No, because most likely in such a scenario, I'm going to be hiring a company that would be employing that person. So because of that type of relationship, it would be different.
So yeah, I know that my guy actually has an S corp. So does that negate the rule?
That would help. That
So,
would definitely help.
S corp, get a website, have an actual like listed address, all those type of things. And the only other thing, you still have to be able to meet the other restrictions or requirements, such as being responsible for your own profitability of your business, right? They would love to see that you have multiple clients. Well, heck, tell them to get 1 or 2 clients you can hire me as a client for a day or something like that. It'll make the difference. But if you do something to that nature, then you should be fine because if he is in control of his own profitability, if he needed to bring on more employees to help him with his tasks, and he's responsible for hiring them, then those are the things where he would actually be abiding still by the law itself. So he lives in California is the challenge?
Yeah. And, he's basically acting like an employee. He, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. So that's why we have to navigate it. He's using all my infrastructure, right? My Office 365, my software.
See, that's another interesting one. A subscription in comparison to a machine. So is it his computer or your computer that he's doing the work on?
His hardware.
His hardware. So
his hardware, my virtual machine.
I don't know the legal answer on this, but I think there's a point of contest right there. It's like a subscription is, you're talking $39 in comparison to a $2,500 machine.
Oh, but he's dialing into a virtual machine.
Yeah, but the work that's being done, I mean, truly the real answer is, I don't know. I don't know the right answer on that,
Yeah.
but it's definitely an arguable point. It's interesting.
Well, and a
And
little bit of,
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave California?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. This is
Yeah,
No,
I've
he would
decided
like to
I'm
leave
moving to
California, but he's
Vegas
got
in
2
5
daughters there.
years.
Are you? You're gonna move? You're gonna bail?
I'm going to Vegas in 5 years, yeah. Yeah,
You made that
Interesting
decision.
question.
so,
I'm
Linda
definitely
Artisani.
keeping my eye on it. So sorry, I didn't mean to speak over. I'm keeping my eye on it, and I'm happy to repeat back as I learn more. But I don't even think this state knows the real answer. I mean,
No,
that's-
No,
I mean,
they
there's
don't.
obviously lawsuits both directions now.
no, and they're changing it because they just changed it so that truck drivers aren't affected by the law.
It's
And
whoever's lobbying and whoever's screaming the loudest.
oh, yeah.
whoever's got the most money wins.
Well, and I gotta believe programming is
It's
gonna
the
be one of those, right? I
attorneys.
mean, we're talking about Silicon Valley here. I mean,
the
right?
attorneys are going to win. That's who's going to win. So,
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
but they made the court case that started this whole thing actually ruled that a company in California that hired a subcontractor from like Phoenix, Arizona or Tucson to do some post-production on a video or something that they're using in California. It's their company has put this video out, and they're making that man pay income tax, file a California income tax return and pay it because his work product is for a company that's in California.
Place of delivery,
Yeah.
like sales tax. So the reason
Yeah.
it's so important everybody's paying attention to this is because, as I've said before, California, we have the propensity to screw it up for everybody else.
No kidding.
Yep.
Linda
Yeah.
Artisani?
My goal is to be Shannon and have a company run by itself when I want to retire.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't done the business goals yet. I'm going to be going to, I'm in Elevate Alliance with Mariette. I'm going to see Mariette in a couple weeks, and we're doing business goals. So I have to get that done. Done personal ones, and I made a vision board and everything, but I haven't done the business ones. Basically was sleep more, which, gosh, I've got that covered 5 times over Sunday now. I've been sleeping like 10 hours every day, and I work less, and so far I've been sticking to that too. I want 1 day off a weekend. I'm gonna try to stick to that. I've got company coming. We're in the open
Wait,
door.
a weekend?
1 day off a
Did you
weekend.
say 1 day a weekend?
1 day off a weekend. I usually work every day.
Yeah.
I don't have a day off, so I'm gonna try to take 1 day to myself and not work and not turn the computer on.
Oh, okay.
Trying to think of what else. Yeah, not
Well,
work.
maybe 2, I don't know.
That's
Is
the
that
ultimate goal, but I
over-aggressive?
got to do it in baby steps because I won't do it if I don't do it that way. Yeah, so.
So in
I'm trying to-
2019, my goal was to only work 4 days. And I pretty much got that most of the time.
I like the idea of letting your business run by itself. You got to tell me how you do that, Shannon.
Well, look at Matthew. He's taking off in January. I mean, as an
I
accountant,
know. He's always
January is
gone.
just always giving me
It's
the
his
real-
team.
you
He's
know.
got someone to cover for him, see, while he's
Great
gone.
team.
Simba doesn't do crap for me when I'm gone. He just lays around in the bed and doesn't do anything, so.
Well, in 2 weeks, I'm taking a vacation
Nice.
for 3 days.
3 days, that doesn't count.
Wow.
Matthews isn't really a
That's
vacation, by the
like,
way. He's going to be working.
Peak time to get W-2s out? 1099?
The plan is to have them all done by Friday next week, the 10th.
Ow.
Wow, that's ambitious. Good luck.
But you have a good team. It's the leadership of a good
Ah.
team.
I only have one
Right.
person on my team that I let help with the W-2s and 1099s.
Wow.
So.
Well, you know what? If you only do payroll, that's all you're doing. We're like doing normal, regular work and trying to squeeze in all the year end where, 21 banking days in a month.
Still work.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, I still have, one of my clients has 8 or 9 companies that I help them manage. And so I'm still doing that set of books. I actually turned over my own bookkeeping over to my subcontractor today.
Wow, congratulations.
So I don't have to do my own books.
Nice.
Which will be good because it hasn't been reconciled since, I don't know, 2017.
Oh, no.
The bank balances match, I'm good.
Miss
I'm happy I got
Sarah,
my 2019 bills out.
I know. I'm so proud of Ernest. He buckled down and got his billing done.
Miss Sarah Laidlaw Woodruff.
I'm on the same track. We're on this, 5-year plan. And part of the making the business self-run is documenting. I mean, and I'm doing better and better and better, but this year I'm really getting serious about processes and I finally have my employees on board with the practice management software with the checklist and documenting. They're actually are meeting with each other and saying, okay, here's my instructions on how to do this client. Did you do it? And
Sarah.
So anyway, so that's
Sarah, are you going to commit to turning off your server this year?
Yeah, well, we're moving most of our probably all our current files up to SharePoint. And so that just, the freedom of that, of not being tethered to this office is massive. And the change in my employees, I don't know if it's just knowing they have the freedom of not coming to the office. I have one that drives, it used to be a 40-hour drive, has now become an hour. And now I found out recently, there was one day it was 2 hours because of an accident. And she never tells me of these things. And so she's, after years and years and years of driving all the way to this island, and then I showed her how I'm going to free it up. And I said, we just need to scan more. The morale, I mean, you should see the change. This is the most calm we've been going into a January. We have so many processes documented. Everything's lined up, ready to go. We're, hit the ground running. And I'm nowhere near stressed that I've been in years past. I mean, I used to hate the holiday. hate Christmas because it was the dread of the calm before the storm, And now I've got a really great client list, very particular. A couple new things I'm going to do for 2020. One is more scanning, more paper, cleaner desk. I am removing myself from new nonprofits. I've been doing nonprofits for 30 years. I want to change my niche. I am having a blast with the art galleries. And not only is it challenging and tricky accounting, but it's fun. So yeah, I'm going into 2020 with my staff handling most of the accounting work. I can spend more time with TBX. I have I still want to get my W-9 collection program off the ground. So maybe I can. Of course, I'm not going to make it for this season, but they make me crazy. Invalid W-9s make me crazy, and I'm going to figure out how to collect W-9s. So I'm.
Hey Matthew, have you ever done a webinar of the W-9 process inside QBO?
I have no idea about QBO.
We just barely touched on the tip of it yesterday. Linda and I did, but no, I haven't. We've gone through the whole process, but
I know that it exists out there,
yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've been trying to tell Sarah is I'm like, how much money do you want to spend on something that may already be fully automated in QBO?
So you're saying accounting programs are going to automate the collection of W-9s.
Well, and Track 1099 does. It's just an
and 4 out of 5 are invalid. I use Track 1099 because all it does is collect information. But if you fill it out wrong, you're filling it out wrong. Unless it asks you questions that leads you to the correct answers, you're going to get wrong answers. So every program I've ever looked at is pretty much an automated W-9 form. But if you can't fill out a W-9, and it's amazing how many people are LLCs and don't have no concept of what kind of business they are. So
I do have a lot of respect for what Ernest is trying to do, though, which is motivate everybody to remember to do as much searching as possible so you don't build yourself the most expensive application you only use for yourself.
True. True. Yeah. That's a good point. And online, I'm not, I know that we've bought it, at least another 3 years on desktop.
Oh, yeah.
But, because 2020 wasn't a subscription. So my marker with that is when we're forced to be on a subscription, things are gonna, start changing.
Even then, they'll sell it off. Even at that point, they will sell it off. They're not
really
just go
like they did Reckon.
Yeah.
So are we still recording?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered.
We're a little over time, but I want to make sure everybody gets a chance.
And there's more, when you talk about online, there's more options than QBO. There's Gravity, there's Accounting Suite, there's as I start looking at more cloud applications, it's not going to be just QBO. It's going to be, because they're all coming up. They're all coming up. So it's going to be this next 5 years is going to be really, I think. I mean, things have been moving fast. Like the last 5 years have been wicked fast. I can't even imagine how fast it's going to be in the next couple of years in our business.
Mark, are you with us?
Mark?
I'm here. I was just trying to finish up some things.
He's at work.
Do you have
what do you want to do in
goals
2020, honey?
2020?
Work less.
Work less.
Poor guy. That was simple and sweet, short and sweet. I love it.
No, actually more process automation is what I'd like to do. And also Power Query, Power BI, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're going to partner.
Yeah.
What a team.
There you go. Matthew? Oh, Matthew's talking to someone else.
Give me 5 minutes. So what am I going to do? Well, we've been focusing. So I finally took the leap, and we just set up our ClickUp subscription for all 5 seats. And we've been going round and around and around on the best way, like taking the workflows we've already documented, but actually figuring out strategically the different levels of how it's going to play out. Because number one, like when you want to fill that stuff out and design it, you really have to think through it. What's going to be at the different levels, tasks, subtasks, so forth. So the goal there is to take the workflows we've got currently and document them in a way that is understandable and repeatable, not just internally, but something where it's like a true handbook, user guide concept, to see what other fun, exciting things we can have happen over the next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And yeah.
Dennis, we're going to end with you, and you can tell us about your languages and your plans.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, I'm conversational in 3 foreign languages, French, Spanish, and German. And so for my New Year's resolution, I've already started engaging other speakers, like about 12 to 14 hours time difference. But I have one guy I speak German with, one guy I speak French with, which I spoke for about half an hour today. And again, another guy I speak Spanish with, who's, the way it works is that we speak about half the time in English and the other time in their foreign language. So it's sort of, we help each other. And I'm the French guy, I'm teaching a lot of American slang.
That's nice of you, Dennis.
Some bad words.
That sounds like fun.
Gina, you didn't say what yours were.
My new resolution is the same as Shannon's: work less. I mean,
And retire.
Work smarter.
Work smarter, yes. I'm going to be online a lot less than I have been, and do things and work more on the relationships and the people around me that I just don't spend enough time with.
Nice. Yeah, what about Mary?
Where's Mary?
She's quiet.
Mary, just
Here
speak
she
to us.
is.
Chat.
Here I am.
How's Ernest? Ernest was in chat.
Mary, do you have anything for 2020?
Nothing super big. I just want to complete the advanced QuickBooks Online Advanced. That's for starters. And then try and get all my apps. I'm kind of narrowing it down to the ones I like and want to use and this and that. So work a little bit more on that. And of course, work less like everybody else.
And smarter.
Common thread.
All righty.
You know, one of the interesting things that Joe mentioned this morning on the Woodard was that some people might actually be insisting that their clients, their QBO clients, use Chase Bank, and that they would move their bank accounts over to Chase Bank because of how well it works with QBO. And you know, I know that the lady in Deborah Kilsheimer, I know she has a certain bank they have to work with, and I'll bet it's Chase. So
that's one way to do it. Just say, these are my tools, these are my banks, this is my method. There are other accountants. You don't like my method?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
like
right.
like you said, you didn't walk into Starbucks and say, I'd like a hamburger, please.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
You won't get one.
You go someplace that has a hamburger.
That's right. So,
all righty, everybody, we're going to end. We went a little bit over time today, but lots of fun, good conversation. We'll see you all same time, same place next week.
Bye.
Bye.